What is up guys, it's your boy Solheim here, back with another Dragonflight Goldmaking video. So today we're doing something a little bit different once again, and today I want to talk about the aspects of farming gold versus crafting for gold, and basically talking about Dragonflight Goldmaking and how you should make your gold. Basically I'm going to angle this at the angle of who should be farming, or who should be crafting, or just showing you the upsides and downsides of each to help you make an informed decision on whether you want to farm for gold, or maybe you want to start using Dragonflight professions to start crafting for gold as well. This is something you can use for future expansions, future patches. It's basically me talking about gold making overall, and I just wanted to make a video about this, talking about farming and crafting. Dragonflight is probably the first expansion where I myself have been dabbling a lot into crafting, so I've definitely felt the differences between farming and crafting this expansion compared to other expansions where I've mostly or pretty much only been farming, but this time we have been crafting as well. I also want to say, if you want to know more about gold making in Dragonflight, I do have a guide on that as well, which is linked down below, so you can check that one out for further information about gold making through both professions and also farming. We have all the best Dragonflight gold farms in that guide, also a private Discord server attached to the guide as well, where we have even more farms and early access to videos. If you want to check it out, the link is down below, and you can use the code Solheim to get it for half price. With that being said, let's take a look at crafting and farming, and I want to start this off by talking about crafting. I'm on my crafting character right now, so we're starting with crafting, and I just want to talk a little bit about crafting in general. So first of all, who should be doing crafting, or what are the upsides of crafting? Crafting basically lets you trade your knowledge for gold, and you also have to put in some time because you are doing the crafts after all, but it lets you put in your knowledge about the game and what is selling, and also using add-ons and so on to make a gold. Basically, like, the gold you make will be based on your profit margins, which right now in Dragonflight are based on your specialization points and putting them correctly, and also just crafting the right items and selling them at the right time. So what do I mean by that? Well, for example, we can take a look at the Omnium Draconis, which are going up and down in profits all the time, but right now I did a lot of these crafts yesterday. They were selling for 33 gold profit each yesterday, and now they're up to 61 gold profit, and it's a weekend, and every single weekly reset they tend to go up in price as well, but so does the materials. So what I usually do is I buy a bunch of materials in the weekend, I then craft omniums, and I sell them on Wednesdays. Well, Tuesdays for North America, but Wednesdays for EU, basically the weekly reset. And that is because more people do raids again, doing reclears on weekly resets, and these omniums are used in crafting both flasks and potions. So obviously demand goes up when the weekly reset happens, and people start doing raids and Mythic Plus dungeons. So buying these materials on weekdays and crafting omniums and selling those on the weekly reset is a huge way to make a lot of gold. But even right now, if I buy the materials right now and craft these ones, I'm making 61 gold profit per craft, and I can do 3,600 crafts per hour by using the aerated file of quick hands. Actually, by using the rank 3 one, I can do almost 4,000, so 3.9k crafts per hour, giving me just about like 200k gold profit in 1 hour just by crafting an item, which is absolutely massive. And this one has a big sell rate, so that is number 2 that I want to talk about when it comes to crafting. You have to consider the sell rate, because let's say you have a region average daily sold of 1,000 of these omniums, but you're crafting 10,000. That basically means you will not be able to sell those 10,000, and you want to be able to sell what you're crafting while it's profitable. If you craft, let's just put out a number here, if I craft 100,000 omniums right now, sure, I can make like 6.1 million gold profit, but I have to be able to sell them while the profit margin is there. And the more you craft and like the more you bank into one item, the bigger the chance is that you won't be able to offload your stock before the profit margin fades. So you want to diversify as much as possible, and you want to look at the region average daily sold. So diversify as much as possible, but also diversify between items with a huge sell rate. In this case, I would make both primal convergence and also also omniums, but the primal convergence don't have the same sell rate, but they have just about half, so I can craft half as many primals as I do omniums, and that way I can diversify all of my gold between these two items and get roughly 3,000 sales every single day as long as I personally control the market. That is another thing you have to worry about. You will not be the only one crafting, which is once again why you want to diversify, because if I only do omniums, chances are someone else is also only doing omniums, but the more different items I am personally trying to sell, the easier it is for me to sell them, because there's going to be a lot of people searching on the auction house at the same time as well. So if you only post once per day or twice per day, the more unique items you have up, the higher the chances are someone buys your item before someone else comes in and undercuts your item. So try to look for as many items as possible within your profession that are actually profitable for you and that you consider to be worth your time. So usually the way I like to think about this is that you have two types of items to go into when it comes to crafting. One, you have a low sell rate material or like a low sale item with a high profit margin, and then you have high sell rate items with low profit margins. And as an example here, once again, we have the Omnium Draconis that I just talked about, and they are a high sell rate but low profit margin item, while the Potion Absorption Inhibitor is a low sell rate but high profit margin item. Like as an example, yes, I can get 2,000 gold profit, and by doing 4,000 crafts per hour, I can get like what, 80 million gold per hour profit or something, like a huge amount of profit every single time, and I'm gonna make a lot of gold on an hourly basis, but it only has a region average daily sale rate of 164, and I'm not going to be the only one trying to sell these items. So that means that I want to craft some of these ones, because yes, they are super profitable for me, but I'm not going to be able to offload 4,000 of them per day. So you want to craft maybe 100 of these and just wait for them to sell, then restock once again, and then just craft a couple thousand Omnium Draconis at the same time. And personally, I usually take the average daily sell rate, double it, and craft that amount. In this case, for Omniums, that would be 4,000 Omniums, 2,000 Primal Convergence, and just about 200 to 300 Potion Absorption Inhibitors. That way you are min-maxing to the max by getting a lot of profit on some low sell rate items, and you're getting a very low profit margin but on a high sell rate item, and overall your mailbox is going to be absolutely filled with gold. So yesterday I spent just about 1 hour crafting some items, and I've been selling quite a few of them over here. I also spent some time farming gold as well, so we have some bubble poppies, some omniums, some ceravite, and we have some potion augmentations, some sagacious incenses, awakened fires, and just about everything you can imagine in this mailbox. And you can see right here, you will have a lot of gold waiting for you on a daily basis, as long as you craft the right things. You can also see the Burning Writ enchantment. I made 150 of those, and I only sold 73 of them, but that is still a massive amount of sales on like a regular Friday. So all of these ones being sold, but you will also have to restock the auction house every now and then. But on a daily basis, as long as you're selling a lot of different materials, you will get a lot of gold in your mailbox just waiting for you. Now, even though I'm collecting 367,000 gold here, that is just about going to be 50,000 gold profit or something like that, maybe closer to 100k, based on some of them being potion augmentations and some of them being sagacious instances, which were really profitable, and we also have the awakened fires, which are from transmuting. So to round off the crafting portion of this video, I want to say that crafting is for you if you want to trade your knowledge of the game, and also outside the game, just your knowledge of the market in general. If you think that you have a lot of knowledge about how the market is moving, crafting is definitely for you, and also the more professional specialization points you have spent, the more crafting will also be for you. But the reality is, you don't need to have maxed out enchanting or any of the knowledge points to get to the point of making profit. It is just going to be easier for you the more knowledge points you have, but you don't need that many to start making profit. I've made several videos on this, and for example tailoring, you can start making profit without any knowledge points whatsoever, but even then, getting to 100 knowledge points in pretty much any profession is super simple these days, especially with all the video guides, and I have one myself coming out as well. So getting to 100 knowledge points is super easy and super fast, but you don't need that many knowledge points to start making profit. But obviously the more you have, the more profit you will make, and the easier it will be for you to make that profit. Okay, so now that we have talked about crafting, let's talk about farming. What are the upsides of farming? Well, you will always make profit. There's absolutely no way of you not making profit. Everything you are farming for will sell for something, and the downside here is that you are trading your time for gold. When you're farming gold, the one thing you are spending is time. You're always spending your time, regardless of if you're doing mining, herbalism, skinning, 2x4 group farming, any type of farming, you're spending your time, and you're trading your time for gold. In this case, you're also probably looking for something that gives you the most gold back for the time you're spending. So people usually navigate towards the farm that is the best one, because that is where they get the most value for their time, and as everyone is moving to that one farm, it starts being worth less, and then people are once again looking for a new farm to spend their time, which is going to be the new best farm until everyone jumps on that one, and it goes in an evil cycle and repeats itself. Everyone jumps on a farm because it's the best one, and because everyone is doing it, the supply is absolutely crashing the market, and now people are looking for a new best farm, and they just do that on repeat. Now, one of the reasons why I personally love farming gold is that it gives me a reason to play the game. It is one of the only things that you can do right now that will still hold value later in the game. Like, one of the reasons why I loved making gold and farming gold is that it's a form of progression that is meaningful regardless of expansion. Farming gear right now, for example, the gear you have right now, you will not need, use, or even remember in the next expansion. The mounts you have, sure, they also carry some meaning, pets carry some meaning, transmog carries some meaning, but for example, farming gear, doing Mythic Plus, doing raids, getting, for example, the legendaries we had back when those were a thing, the artifact weapons from Legion and so on, all of those, like, meaningless grinds in the game itself, according to me at least, like artifact power grind, now that the artifact power bonuses are no longer available either, they're just like legacy mode. It felt like a useless grind. When you're farming for gold, the gold I have right now can pay for something for me in like 1, 2, or 5 expansions down the line. I can pay for a raid boost, I can pay for a WoW token. If I find a good looking battle pet, I can buy that one. If I find a transmog on the auction house, I can buy that one. And basically it's a form of progression that I can do right now, and something I can farm for right now, and I can get value off later down the line when I want or need that value. And that is why I love farming gold, and it's just something chill to do in the game itself, and I personally find it fun. Farming gold for me is a lot more fun than crafting, because when you're crafting, you're just standing still, you're clicking one button, standing still, and then doing nothing, which can be enjoyable if you just want to, for example, stream or watch a stream or watch Netflix or something on your second monitor, but I would rather do that while I'm farming. I don't know why, but I have this thing where I just have to do something while I'm watching a TV show. So for me, farming gold or flying around farming stuff while I'm watching something on a second monitor just feels great. And if I don't have something to do while I'm watching something, I go absolutely insane. So for me, farming gold is just a lot more fun than crafting, but crafting is going to be a lot better and more scalable. If you want to scale your gold making, farming is definitely not the way to do that. And as an example here, if you want to make 100 million gold in WoW, and you want to do that by farming, let's say right now you're getting 50k per hour from a gold farm, that means in 20 hours you're getting 1 million, and to get to 100 million you would have to spend 2000 hours, or just about 15 hours every single day, 15, I don't know, 10 hours every single day for a year. That is probably some super bad math on my part, but you get the point. To farm your gold and get to 100 million gold, you will have to spend way too much time. It is not reasonable to do that really, but if you're crafting for that profit and making gold by crafting, it is a lot more scalable, because the more gold you have, the more materials you can buy, the more you can craft in one portion, and then the more different items you can start going into, and the more markets you can start tapping into, and the more gold you can make. Basically, the more gold gold you have, and the more knowledge you have, and the more professions you have, the more gold you will make, because you're crafting more items with preferably a higher profit margin as well. So as a quick TLDR here, crafting, you're trading your knowledge for gold, farming, you're trading your time for gold, and who should do what is definitely just up to you based on your preferences. I think farming is a lot more fun, but I think crafting is a lot more profitable. Let me know your thoughts down below, let me know if you're crafting or farming, maybe you're doing both just like me, and if so, let me know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, please consider dropping a like on it, and I really do hope it helps you out, making your decision on whether you want to farm or craft for gold or dabble into both as well. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching this video, and as always, I'll see you again very soon.